this tool, and got about 15 minutes into it, and I really didn't start making much of anything. I just started talking about it, and 15 minutes in, I got interrupted. So I think I have some time tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to make a little more progress. So what you're seeing behind me here, this is OBS. So let me actually clear out the screen here. So I'm running 2 copies of OBS. So one is the one that is making the stream, and then the other is just a second copy that I'm using my other camera with to talk about. Looking at this one because the big picture's up here, to demonstrate what I'm doing here. So the idea is that I've been working in I've been working for a while in Smalltalk to make a cool little animation program, and the whole point of that is to hang on a second. Yeah. Just to recap what I said yesterday. So I've got a tool for making nice little graphs. I've got a drawing tool, and I want to make some animated demos. And there's a voiceover component, right? Like, it's not just I don't want to sit here and do this like live streaming here. For one thing, this circle that I'm in is covering up part of the screen, and I need to move it around. And so what I'd really like to do is capture 2 things at once. One is the the interaction on the screen, or even better yet, to just write out a script of what I want to present, and then record it. So that's what I have done in the past. When I made my scripted videos, I would always write out pretty much everything I wanted to say, and record it piece by piece. And of course, what you tend to do if you're doing like traditional video recording is you stand here and you talk to the camera, and you make like some number of takes, right? And if you don't like the one you do, then you pause and you say, and if you don't like the one you do, you pause and you say it over again. But if you don't like that take, you pause and you say it over again, right? And then so you have like little cuts, and then you go back in your video editor and you have like 5 versions of yourself saying the same thing. And of course, that's what traditional like movie studios and stuff do. And then the editing is done much later. And then you have all those pieces to choose from. You take the best take and you stitch them together, and you edit it all into a video. But if you're the talent, like you're the person on the screen, and you're the person who's the writer, and you're the director, so you're like a one-person show, then you can dramatically cut the cost of that by doing the edits in real time if you have the tools to do it. So you write the script, and in fact, you can start writing your script and then record it to see if it sounds good, and then if it doesn't sound good, you rewrite the script, and you can do all the edit. You can do the editing all the way back to the script, all in one like sitting, basically. The downside of that is that you may have very choppy video. If you've seen any of my other videos, that my videos on this channel come in 2 flavors. One is extremely long content, like 3-hour long thing where I just turn on the video and record, and then condensed versions of that where I've taken that and stuck it into an AI tool that looks for all the pauses and chops them out. And so the result is that I look very glitchy, and I'm jumping around from here. I'm one second I'm over here talking about this way, and then I'm over here, and now all the ums and ahs and all that are chopped out, but and all the long pauses are chopped out. So it goes from 3 hours to like 45 minutes, and it's very fast paced, but people find it distracting, right? So it's almost not worth the bother. Plus the transcript winds up being terrible. But if you start with the transcript, if you start with like, I'm going to write something, which for me, I'm a much better writer than I am a speaker, which probably isn't saying much, but you can put your thoughts together in one step, record them, and so on. So I made a tool to do that, but it's audio only, and that is because I started with this thing called JPrez, which if you've seen my other channel, the Tangent Storm channel, a lot of my first attempts at streaming were recording myself writing JPrez. So I will show you what that is just right here. So JPrez is written in a language called J, but I have a wrapper for it here that I can run it inside of a language here called, or rather inside of a Lazarus program. So let's pull this up. File. We go to open recent project. We're going to open up Squuggsy. Whenever I come up with a new GitHub repo, I often don't know what the name should be, so I just name it some random thing. So Squuggsy is this random thing that contains JPrez. You know, maybe in the future it'll be renamed at some point. But so if I run this, it does apparently take a moment or two to compile. Yep. What has happened? Target Squuggsy cannot create object error code 5. Why not? Is it open? Bizarre. Am I running it? I think so. Might still have it running somewhere. Maybe on other. Shut down, right? I can't search in this thing, can I? It would just be if I sort by name, I can. Okay, it's not. Well, certainly not expecting that to happen. Never seen that problem before. It's got to be like running somewhere. I don't see it running. You have 2 desktops. Okay. Second. Apologize. The little hotkey to bring up the second desktop is not working, so I think there we go. I don't know if you. I hope you can still see me. My screen has now gone black. There we go. Oh, I am running it. Okay. So this is actually it right here. I'm going to close this and start a new copy of it. I have 2 copies of Lazarus running as well. Yes, I think okay, so let me just close this copy of Lazarus. This is the diagram that I really wanted to animate. I wanted to make like a little 2-minute animation of this. Oh, some information about, talk about that some other time. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if any of that was even on the screen or if you're just seeing this the whole time. But I should be able to run that now. I don't know if it showed my second monitor or not, so I guess I'll have to watch the tape to find that. Okay. So now it compiled and it's running, and so now if you didn't see it before, this is what was on the screen. Okay, so what you see here is JPrez. So running inside of a window. So JPrez was a console application, meaning it runs inside of a VT100 or actually an Xterm terminal, actually a modern terminal emulator with 24-bit color and all this stuff. And you can do like some cool things. If you've never seen this before, yeah, you can load JKVM. There's some little line. This is a line of J up here. It just says take the number 32, or rather the number 1, copy it 32 times, and then for 32 steps, do a XOR scan of that. So like a running sum, a running XOR of that. And if you do that, then this is the running XOR for the first line, and then you do it again 32 times, and you get this little Sierpinski triangle. It's kind of neat. There's some color and whatnot, and you know. So yeah, so my other channel was primarily about J, or at least primarily uses J as a tool, and I found that as I am now, I found myself struggling with video creation, and I wanted better tools for it. And so I made this thing, which what you're seeing here is these are it's essentially a well, it's an outline, and the outline is specified in a file format called an org file. So just a plain old text file that I will load up here and show you in just a second here. I don't actually know how to see the content of this file, or see the path of this file, but I believe it is in, probably expressed this just the demo under JPrez. JPrez screenplay, yeah. Same one. So if I load that in Emacs, we have the demo screenplay, and then you can see there's like the same outline over here that you're seeing on the screen. JPrez, this tool does not actually have a way to create these outlines. So what I've done in the past is I've got Emacs as my text editor running, and I just type the stuff I want to type in here. But then when I want to go record these interactions, you haven't seen this, but let's see. If you go here, and I think if you hit F10, oh, not F10. Good. Yeah, Shift N. So you can see it's typing, right? So this little line here is recording, is presenting a set of keyboard commands, right? So basically the dot says this is a keyboard, or the colon says this is a special line, not text to be recorded. The dot says this is a keyboard macro. The question mark says we're starting to record, and I needed that because like quotes and double quotes are like pretty useful in J, and so I wanted something that wasn't a J string command. So the question mark is like every symbol is used in J. Everything on your keyboard is used, but the question mark is probably the least commonly used one for me, because it deals with random numbers. So I use it as the string delimiter here. So this is just plain typing, but then you stop that, and then this capital X says, well, and so it looks like I said, it types out 1.I.10, so count to 10, and says first N, and then backspaces and says 10 natural numbers, and that's not a question mark there. So if I, so that's what generated this line up here, and of course it all gets syntax highlighted and all that. So that's JPrez. And then the other part of I guess the other part of it is that you got two other pieces here. Is that there's a editor component, which I don't know how to show on the screen. Is it F4? No. F3, F2. There you go. No, swap the top and bottom. F5. There it is. F5. So this is like the slide, right? So in my old version of the system, like you would have a slide that was just an editor, and then you would have the REPL, and that was like it. That was everything that was on the screen. Anything else you wanted to put on the screen would come from elsewhere. Okay, well now I'm doing these demos that are going to be way more than that. I made it one or two videos like that. One which is just nothing on the screen except like a couple drop-down animations where they showed a section title, and I made a short where I had the interaction here in the REPL like above me, and then I had like a video component here, and then I did some video editing and put some other like drawings and stuff, screenshots and whatnot in there as it was going. I packed a lot of stuff into that 1 minute. Way too much stuff. Talked way too fast. Anyway, so now I want to do exactly what I'm doing here, but in addition to so I haven't explained what I'm doing here. So the reason it's running inside of this thing called Squgsy, so you've seen JPrez now. JPrez is inside this window. Now, when I press escape, you get two more windows, and these are provided by this thing that I'm currently calling Squgsy, but it should be named something else, right? And they have a list of, first of all, this is a J prompt, so I can just say, I10 or whatever, and it'll count to whatever. So the same thing we did up here. So this is actually, I've actually gotten Turbo Pascal to talk to J. I've embedded the JDLL, or not embedded it, but I'm talking to the JDLL, and I've written a wrapper for that in Pascal, and then now I have a Pascal component that can talk to J and send data back and forth and this is currently just using the string back and forth, but this is redrawing the screen. Like every time something changes, it redraws the whole screen, and at many frames per second. I'm not sure if it's I don't remember if I optimize that or if it's just in a tight loop and it's just like continuously reblitting the screen. I think it checks to see if anything has changed. But yeah, so I actually have like some Pascal code that is redrawing all of these things, every one of these characters on the screen in the right color, and that's pulling actually from. It's actually asking Jay to just give it a screen buffer. So Jay comes back with an array of characters that say these are the characters, and it comes back with an array of foreground colors and an array of background colors. So those 3 layers of the 24-bit color, and then for the foreground, 24 for the background, and a Unicode character, so like a 32-bit Unicode character. And then those Unicode characters are mapped to bitmaps that are rendered and just blitted onto the screen very, very quickly with some alpha on them. So that's how this is working. And then there's a protocol that I was using in the terminal emulator to send key presses. So it would the terminal emulator itself knows how to like encode different kinds of key presses, and then those are mapped to like function names inside of a J module, and so now Pascal here is just calling those things directly. So if I press N and P and so on to move those things, I've taken out the terminal emulation stuff. I have a terminal emulator library in. Not terminal emulator, a terminal library, a library for talking to terminal emulators in J. But at its core, it maintains its own like video buffer, and it just sends the diffs. So you don't want to send like on a very complicated screen. You don't want to send like hundreds of and thousands of characters, and every time you type a letter, right? So it only sends the diff. Whereas we actually are doing that here. Every time the screen changes, it just fetches everything and redraws it. And so the core video buffer and everything was already maintained by Jay, and I'm just reading that into Pascal, showing it on the screen. And then I've added something to this that is not available in a terminator, and that was the whole point of doing this, which is that when you put the cursor on a line that is, I don't know why that line does not highlight, but here's how you look. I think I actually recorded this yesterday. So if I press the escape button now, I bring up these windows here, and you see that this is actually looking at, Jay has told Pascal that this is the file name associated with this line of text. And so there's one .wav file associated with every single line of text that doesn't have a colon in front of it, or doesn't have a comment symbol, a hash mark in front of it. So if I were to, if I move this over here, it goes to the front. But if I move down, you see it's changed the file name to here's a new line in the middle, or here's a new line in the middle, right? And if I hit, and again, you see every time it changes. Right now, I'm going to turn on my speaker here, or recording the desktop audio. And then if I say, ViewMat is short for view matrix and comes with J, but, right? And maybe I would actually read both of those lines there. In fact, there probably should be one line, because I would probably do that all in one take. Oh, I'm still recording. I said stop it. No, I didn't. Okay, so then now I should be able to play that. ViewMat is short for view matrix and comes with J, but. Yeah, I sound like an announcer. That was silly take. So maybe I would maybe I would hear that and say, okay, well, I don't like that. I sound too silly. I sound too much like a used car salesman. But wait, there's more, because if you act now, we'll also throw in JKVM, right? So I might change that and say, okay, ViewMat. So I messed up, right? Stop. ViewMat is short for view matrix, and it comes with J, but here we are adapting it to work in the terminal. Right, so I didn't like that one. ViewMat is short for view matrix and comes with J, but here we are adapting it to work in the terminal. ViewMat is short for view matrix and comes with J, but here we are adapting it to work in the terminal. Okay, whatever. So, yeah. So say I like that take, then I move on to the next one. So in theory, you can go up here and you can say, okay, so I think I played that one yesterday. Here's how you load the ViewMat part of JKVM. Okay, and then here's a new line in the middle, right? And now I gotta stop doing the announcer voice. And then I have some key where I can just play these, right? And I'd have to look at what it is because I didn't document this very well. I don't think. But I want to do this demo because do I go here? So somewhere probably buried in here in a place that really should be refactored and moved. Come on. Hello. Okay, so I see that would be the console app. Yeah, I think. No. Oh, that's a completely different thing. It's probably view JPress form. This form, and then in here. Sorry, I usually don't have a good solution to only sharing part of my screen. Maybe I should increase the size of the screen I'm sharing. Somewhere in here, I'm doing something. Oh, play audio. So I hit the pause button of all things to play the audio. Okay, so so I thought JPress could actually do it. I thought there was a way to play one after another. Maybe there's not. Okay, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, let's go back here, and I'll just. I've lost my. Okay, so here's how you load the ViewMat part of JKVM. Here's a new line in the middle. ViewMat is short for view matrix and comes with J, but here we are adapting it to work in the terminal. All right, so anyway, you can hear each step in sequence. I could have sworn I had a key where it would just play in sequence. Maybe I don't, and maybe I do. It doesn't matter. The idea is you would be able to hear the whole thing and you'd be able to stop the playback and you say, okay, well, I didn't like how those two things fit together and so on. Then you can go, edit it. And the point is, you're doing your editing in real time. You're doing your editing as you're recording, and even as you're writing, and that way you don't have a pile of like many takes to go through. You just discard it immediately because the line of text knows what file it's going to be in. Okay, so I've now spent like 22 minutes talking about this, and now the point is I want to do the same thing but for video, because when it comes to these things, it's not, I just want to expand the reach of the tool. So I'd like to be able to do different takes of myself on a green screen. Okay, so that was the plan as of yesterday, and I'd like to be able to. I guess I'll show this again. I did show this yesterday, but just to give you an idea of the kind of thing I want to animate. Right, I've got a. This is a tool. We've got a general purpose drawing tool here that has been customized to work for drawing logical diagrams, right? And so if I run this, it's going to clear this out. And if I hit the debugger here, I can now step through this line of code here. And every one of these little words is going to do something to the screen, right? So basically, we have three input variables, x0, x1, and x2. I don't think I ran the first one right. It didn't run. Because they should pop up on the screen. All right, so I'm not going to debug this if this doesn't work. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, because it's way down here. That's why. Okay, so let's start over. Close this. Maybe I needed to zoom out a little bit. Okay, that's all. That's all the problem. Well, whatever. So you have these three. I'm not even going to start over. You have three input variables: x0, x1, x2. You're going to XOR these two together. So this is a stack notation, reverse Polish notation. You got x0, x1, x2, and then you're going to XOR those two together. The symbol for XOR is, in some languages, the not equal symbol, because one or the other, so it's only true when the two inputs are different. And then we AND. So now this and this are on the stack, and we're going to AND those two together. Okay. And so now I've got this node up here, and I want to duplicate it. I want to duplicate this entire subtree. I want to duplicate this entire expression. And so that's dupe. And then now that I have two copies of it, I want to say, well, okay, let's branch on x0, and then we're going to set x0 to false over here and true over here. I don't have that part animated yet, but that's the idea. So this is my notation for a decision diagram node, where the low branch goes on the dotted, usually to the left, and it's dotted or dashed, and the high branch is solid and goes to the right. So there's no arrows or anything. And then anyway, so then the next step should be to highlight all the things that say x0 and then replace them over here with true, and then replace them over here with false, and then simplify. I don't have that marked out yet. These are all kind of keyframes. This would all be animated as well, so there'd be some kind of like fancy animation as these are going. Blah blah blah. So we do the same thing of branching on x1. We're gonna do the same thing of duplicating and then branching on x2, and then once all these things are simple, so now you filled in every one of these variables on both sides, and once they're filled in and simplified, then every one of these nodes simplifies down to a single true or false, because they can be fully evaluated. And so you have the truth table for the expression. So that's the animation I wanted to make, and I was going to show this off, and it's like, if I practiced that and got and like wrote it out and like planned it, it would be like a 2-minute demo, or maybe even a 1-minute demo, and I could stick it up on a Twitter or a YouTube short or something like that, and it would be a nice, concise alternative to the two kinds of videos that I already talked about, where it's 3 hours long, or it's 3 hours long that have been compressed into 45 minutes. I could make just a nice demo. But I do want to put my face on the screen, especially for a short. It's kind of, I guess, branding. I guess kind of want to do that. Not that not that I'm the most handsome, charming person in the world, but that's what you're supposed to do if you want to be a person that gets their videos watched. You want people to identify them with you, rather than this is not something that my usual audience would know about, right? Unless they have been watching these last few small talk things. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So I want to make videos that record when I press button. So now I'm talking about this for 28 minutes, and probably I should just jump in and do some coding. Okay, so enough about that. All right, so let's close Bugsy here and come back to the code. So here in Lazarus, I don't know if I've explained this. Lazarus is a GUI builder for Free Pascal. Free Pascal is a free version of the Pascal language, actually based on Object Pascal, Turbo Pascal, Object Pascal, Delphi, all these the series of languages that came out of what used to be called Borland, and then it got moved around. Now it belongs to a company called Embarcadero. And there's a commercial RAD version of this, but the Free Pascal team has been kind of innovating on their own. They actually added generics to the language before the Delphi guys did, and yeah, so it's a little divergent. I got into this because I had a lot of Turbo Pascal code lying around, and a couple years ago I wanted to just get it running again, and so I found Free Pascal, and then eventually learned about Lazarus and all that stuff. So Pascal was one of my earliest programming languages. It's basic, GW Basic, and then Turbo Pascal. So So I like it. It probably doesn't get as much press as it should because it's in terms of like building native GUI applications. You don't have to do. You can build. Most of what I did was console mode because I came from the DOS days. In fact, all the J console stuff is stuff I prototyped in Pascal ages ago, and then I rebuilt it when I was working in J. So it's kind of weird that kind of nice that I came back and made the terminal component here. I was actually writing it in the terminal though, and so much of my Pascal code runs in the terminal, and I have not tried to put it inside this terminal emulator here. I call it an emulator, but it's not really emulating anything anymore. It's its own thing. Anyway, enough rambling. I keep saying that, but that's never true. Which is why I want to edit in the first place. Which is why I want to write a script, edit, and then record only the things that I want to say. Because otherwise, that's how you keep it from going. That's how you make a 2-minute video into a 3-hour video, right? All right. So, okay. So the goal is to make this video happen. So how do you record a video? Well, I don't see. There is a binding to FFmpeg. FFmpeg is a library. It's a library that powers OBS and all this stuff. And you can use it to record from your camera, from your screen. And maybe I would do that in the future. But even simpler is to talk to OBS, because OBS already works. I already run it, and so that's what this other window is for. So I'm actually I was gonna jump in and just do plain Pascal, but since I had this cool Pharaoh Smalltalk thing here, let me put this over here. All right, so I made a page in the notebook. Oh, that's not the page. This one. All right, so the way this works: tools, WebSockets for server settings. This is the point. OBS has a WebSocket server in it. So if you open that up, okay, hang on a second. I just want to sanity check. I did this one because it popped up over the other one. Okay. All right, so enable WebSocket server on port 4455, and then you can generate a password for it. If you don't check this button, there is no password. So you can hit apply, and if you leave this window up, I'll just put it, no, actually I'll put it like right over here, out of the way of my little face. All right, so notice that I am not recording over here. And I hope I'm going to be able to record, because I'm recording on I'm recording on this version of OBS, right? So let's see if it lets me record. I think it will. So I need to connect to this. I think I have to click apply if I haven't done that already. And then I can say, create a WebSocket to localhost 4455. And then I'm going to read them. It's going to send me a message saying I'm connected. And so let's see what that message says. If I click run and inspect, it'll give me that message, and it will. Oh, no. Here I read the message. And then if I get the JSON, there it is. So negotiated RPC version is 1, and then every operation that you send it has a code. So 1 is the login, initialize thing, and 6 is you want to make a request of OBS. So that's the only 2 I've looked at so far. I just learned this by reading the docs for the OBS thing, and I as I was going along, I plugged them into the Leopard page here. This is the Smalltalk environment. This is all Smalltalk code. And so you're sending a message to the WebSocket with some JSON, and as far as I could tell, like you none of the things that I need like have parameters, but like you can tell it to like move things around on the screen, and so you would say like what are the coordinates and all that. So like you could probably move this window, or at least move this around in the scene, or I don't think I can do it. Most of my other ones expect me to have. Oh, there you go. So, okay, so you can switch between these 2 scenes. I think if I do this one, I'm probably not going to get a picture. This might break. Yeah, because I'm using this camera for the for the little circle in the bottom right hand corner there that you see. But like, you can share different parts of the screen and whatnot. Black and white ghost. Oh yeah. So you can switch between these. You can move things. You can build these little scenes, and then you have like different things inside of them. So for example, like in this scene, I can I guess it's locked. You unlock this thing, and now I can move myself around. Ooh, hello, let's fight. That was dumb. Okay, so all right, so hey, where'd my window go? Socket server settings. Socket server settings. There it is. Okay. So you can see I connected, and so and now it shows me down here. By the way, I can kick myself out. Whatever. So now if I say get record status, let's look at the JSON data. Basically, the output is not active. But if I say start record, and you're supposed to give it an ID. I just it was showing like UUI, like some random ID or whatever, and I just put the same message in as the request ID. But let's say start record. I'm expecting this button just to turn on if I run this, and it does. All right, so now it's recording. All right, and then if I say stop record, it's going to tell me where the thing was. So if I look at the JSON here, I can, like, that's the message it sends back. Okay. So I copy this. Now, I go over to Lazarus, and I found a component that just embeds a video player called mPlayer. Open recent project, mPlayer demo. Squuggsy still running? No, Squuggsy is not still running. All right, so that makes this little window. So yeah, you have a little form builder. This is the form builder right here, and this is the player component. And somewhere in here, you have to tell it either in your code or in your program. You tell it where this file is, and for whatever reason, the slashes are backwards from what Pascal wants. So I will fix that in the code. And now when I run this, I should be able to see whatever I just recorded. So if I run this, this window will pop up here, and it will play this video. Okay, I hope. Filing. Oh. Okay, well, that's interesting. So it did not record the audio? Hang on. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I don't believe that. Because the audio is showing up in OBS, so I believe the audio is recorded. So either the encoding is something that this player does not understand, or it has a volume and it's set to 0. So let's put it to 100. I don't know. Let's see. All right, that's good to know. Try it again. And it does. Okay. All right, so now it's recording. Great. All right, and then if I say stop record, 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 if I say stop record. Interesting. That was actually kind of interesting how it did that. I don't. I said loop, right? Loop 1. Maybe you set it to 5, like multiple loops. I don't think that was me repeating the word if I say stop record. Sometimes I do tend to say that. I tend to repeat myself. But I don't think that was this. And it does. All right, so now it's recording. I don't have like a progress bar. All right, and then if I say stop record, if I say stop record, if I say... Yeah, that was not That was not me. I closed my mouth, and then if I say stop record, that was looping somehow. That's unfortunate. Let's try that again. Well, because I want the workflow to be that it records a little bit of video. Like there's also like a lag. And I think I don't think you can get away from that with video, right? You can't just start playing a video. You have to like buffer it a little bit. I guess you can. I'm not sure. Let's do something where when you click on this, on click, it plays again. All right. So on that, let's just so what I did is I double clicked the control itself. It generates the code for me for what that event handler should be, and then I'll just say like mplayer play control 1. Is playing. I bet it says playing. If playing, then and player 1. I'm gonna rename that. Comment that out. We'll call that player, or we'll call it M player. Where's player? Oh, it did that even in the comments. Then player stop. Yep. Else player play. So that will toggle. I don't know if it'll restart it or what. We'll see. Like I don't know if it'll start from the beginning or just pause. And it does. And it does. All right, so now it's recording. All right, and then if I say stop record, that loop didn't seem to do much of anything. And it does. All right, so there's a delay there. I don't know that I'll be able to do anything about that. Like one thing I could do is like if I want the experience of playing one after another, I don't want that delay there. Like because like here I'm going to click. So click 1, 2, 3, like 2 or 3 seconds before it starts recording. And what I want is like it's seamless. So I could like call out to FFmpeg and like combine like several of those videos together. Or it's conceivable what I could do is like I think what this is doing is actually like launching an application because like mplayer is like like I just found a component that on the list of things that were components that you could play videos on. I just picked one at random, and that was the one I picked. So maybe I could try experimenting with some other components here. You really do want to hear all, like 2 or 3 of these clips stuck together. You want to make a very short clip, which I've accomplished now. I've accomplished it with, I've accomplished it by sending the WebSocket signal through Smalltalk. So I need to send that same signal through Pascal, and I'm about to do that. And then I guess hang on. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm wondering if this is not recording desktop audio, but I'm wondering if I don't know where that echo came from. I'm gonna have to experiment with that. So it clearly came from OBS, and it could be that I screwed something up. So maybe we'll try that again when we get Pascal talking. All right. So basically, I need to send these messages from Pascal to this recorder, and so I have another project in the same file at the moment, or in the same directory at the moment. Open recent project. The WS demo is the WebSocket demo. All right, so now we have another form over here. We've got a bunch of stuff on it. This is going to be grayed out. This doesn't actually do anything. But we connect to it, and then we're going to send a message. And so I'll show you what it does so far. It doesn't do enough yet. Oh, combo box one selected, because I was about to find out what that. Okay, so this is, read only. Probably should be grayed out. But anyway, you connect to this, and so now we're still getting that message back from OBS saying that we're successfully connected. So I would expect to see 2 connections. So this is probably the new one. So I have not identified myself yet. So I need to send the identification message, which is what you send on startup. I don't think you have to wait for the message to come. You can just send a message, and WebSockets are pretty flexible about that. So I have to send this message at startup. So let's close this, and then that should go away. Oh, close button doesn't work. Close button does nothing. All right, so let's close that. Closing the program closed it. Let's where's the form? Too many windows open. You click that button, you get the form back. Or rather, you get the list of project forms, and I want form 1. Okay. So double click and close. I got. I'll put this over on the side of the screen here, and I'll maybe make this. That way, I can get back to it from here. Okay. I need more of my screen. All right. So if I double click on this, that tells me the close button, and then I should just say WS close. Disconnect. No, maybe you have to say com is the name of the thing. Close. Force close. Okay. So now I think if I do that, it will. Oh, so com is the way this works. With this library that I found, which is called Laz WebSockets. Well, it's pretty much the only thing that comes up if you Laz WebSockets. So Worfley Laz WebSockets. Thank you, Mr. or Mrs. Worfley, for creating Laz WebSockets. If you use this, you in a seminar on generative AI earlier. Generative AI stuff. I worked for a company that my company was bought by another company that does generative AI stuff. So somebody was giving a lecture. Anyway, right. So Worfley has created this Laz WebSockets thing, and somewhere in here, the basic idea is that you've got, as far as I can tell, is that you create the client and then you hand it, whether you've got a client or a server, you hand it over to the T WebSocket communicator. T is a Pascal. One thing, probably the thing I don't like about Pascal, Object Pascal, is that it's case insensitive. Yeah. So you can't have the thing in Java where like the lowercase name is a local variable and then the uppercase name is a class. So by convention, types start with T, classes start with T. Okay, so this is type tform1. The type is tform1. It is a class. It is subclass from tform, and these are the published members. That is the members that will show up in the inspector, so that you can edit them interactively in the IDE. And then the things that you cannot, the components that do not have such editor support built in, which any component can, but you have to like declare it that way. And then once you do, then you can just click up here and then drop it onto your form. And it doesn't even have to, like some of the audio processing stuff I have, it's not visual components, but you just drop them onto the form, and then you can control all their properties with the editor or with this inspector. Okay. And by the way, I do not know how much time I have. I guess I should get my wife up here on the map and see. She took the kids to the gym and they're all swimming and having a good time, hopefully, and I'm expecting them to be there for about another hour. But when you have children, anything is possible. It could have a disaster at any moment. Okay. So anyways, so I'm not entirely sure what the socket handler is for. I don't seem to need it. I think this is telling me it's never used. Yeah, private is never used. All right, so we can just delete this. You do create a socket handler, but you never actually use it. I think that's just something that I'm not sure. I haven't dug enough into it to understand that design decision yet. But anyway, so then you wrap you connect with the WebSocket client thing. You give it your tsocket handler. I don't know what that's for. I guess I'm not going to speculate. But I didn't need to refer to it again. I just needed to create one. And then you set up event handlers, so you can tell it that when this event fires, you can. It's just a way to bind. It's the same thing as when I clicked on the button and you bind the button to you bind some event to a function here. It's just doing that programmatically. So actually, the tokens are like that. And then you start the receive message thread. In Pascal, you do not have to put the parens at the end of something if you want to invoke it if it does not have arguments. So very much like a small talk message in that way. And so this is a command to tell it to start. So to start a thread to receive messages, and then this com thing, which is, if I click on it, I think it'll take me to where it's defined. Yeah, it's a T WebSocket communicator, and the communicator does all the actual handling. So when that receives a message, on receive message, then we go to, says on receive message is set to the address of the receive message procedure here. And then if I go clunky in this, you can't actually jump to the thing from here, but you can jump to the implementation. Oops, sorry. Jump to the implementation from here. So that was not the right implementation. This message, I don't know why. Anyway, so receive message, maybe it's not saved. I bet, yeah. No, it really jumps to that line up there. Jumps to the wrong line, bug. Okay, so when the message event is received, then just fetch all the messages with com get unprocessed messages, and you stick them in this WebSocket message owner list, whatever that is, or message and messages to begin, blah, blah, blah. Get this message, and now we just say the memo 2 over here, there, the text is going to be the WebSocket string message. Okay, so I don't need this. That did not mean to do that. Sometimes when you double click on things, it creates a event that you don't actually want. I was going to change the property there to be text of it to be empty. Text. It should be text. It should be .txt. What? Oh, lines. Interesting. Okay, so lines is, yeah, so got it. Lines is the collection, and you can set it as individual lines. So text is a wrapper for lines. Got it. Okay. So that's why text does not show up. The actual property is called. If I click on that, I probably see the property. It's a property rather, and it's public rather than published. So yeah, got it. Okay. Okay. So basically, take that data and stick it over here. So that's why when you connect, you get the message from the server that says the hello message, and that shows up over here. Right. So this thing, when that changes, I want that to be. I need to know what the currently selected one is. So the current, no, selected, no. All right, so can I go to, no, okay, so, right, combo box. Let's look on Google or whatever. Lazarus has pretty good docs. Combo box, Lazarus selected value. And bring that over here so you can see. How do you get the value of the convex? Oh, this is not the. Yeah, this is what I wanted. I was like some. This is like a design document for it. I wanted the reference document. All right, forward. So on change, so change. On change, to notify event. The value in the edit box. So that's probably what I want, text. I probably want the text. Text. And we're going to say memo1.text is equal to, and then we're going to build a big string. Which I would get from here. I need to send this one, but then this one I'm just going to look like this, right? For the most part for now. You don't know what's in the combo box, but in the combo box is basically the list of commands that you want to send to OBS. So we're going to say this. So Delphi, I recently saw on Twitter, just got support for multi-line strings. And it does it the Python way. Where you have 3 tick marks. So multi-line strings would be like that and like that. But that happened like yesterday. I don't even know if that's released. I don't really follow Delphi that much, but I just happened to see it on Twitter. Right? I don't think this message is required. This message ID, request ID is required, but there you go. So rather like this. So yeah, this is saying a little message popped up asking me about what I should do with the things that are not used, like the things you double clicked on and never filled in. All right, so those are there. All right, and then I have a send button here. The idea is that you type whatever JSON you want in here, hit the send button, it sends it to the thing, and then this shows the response. And I wanted that send button to do something, right? There it is, send button, click. And so that would be, I guess, com send, right? And it's a string. Right string message is what I want. And combo one, no, combo box, not combo box one text, but memo one text. Memo one text. Maybe we'll call this input memo. I think you can rename it from numerous places, but I'm going to rename it right here. Events, favorites, name, input memo. Call this one the output. I will trust that Lazarus has done the right job of renaming all the right things. Yeah. And then, so rather than combo box one, we will call it box one. We'll call it OBS message. OBS message box. The combo box, but I've turned off the combo features, so it's just drop that. And I never did put anything over here. I did. And as I said, I don't need these parens. And I'm going to gray that out because that I think I have it disabled, but not how you do it. All right, well, let's set the color to background color, some dark color. Probably not the right way to do it, but whatever. String exceeds line. Oh, because I had an extra quote there. Run. Okay. Oh, I didn't take the text out of that. So that was lines. Yeah. I don't know if you can see this. There you go. So I just delete that. Okay. So run this again. And we'll make sure. Oh, I got to send the identify message, right? And that's not in this list. Close this. Oh, violation. Probably because if we should say if assigned com, then com close. Otherwise, it's I'm just gonna. I never connected. That's why it didn't exist. So if I hit close now, yeah. Okay. So I really don't need that button. Close the app. Okay. So what was I saying? I needed to send the hello message, right? Which is this. So when you very first connect, you need to send this message, which is I'm not gonna force myself to write that. Or maybe I should. Maybe this should be the text that first goes into the thing. So when the component first created, so we'll do this. When the form is created, we'll say input memo.text is equal to, and then boom. Curly braces are comments in Pascal. Old school. I use that most of the time, but curly braces are still comments. That's the multi-line comment character. You can also use the C style and do this, but I believe, oh, maybe you can't. Maybe that's a compiler flag. You have to enable that. The curly braces are the traditional multi-line comments in Pascal. I think you could put them to better use, but for like data structures and stuff. But okay, boom. All right, so I'm sending that message right away. Oh no, I send it in the text. So I'm going to connect. I got that. I send this. I get the negotiated response. I should be able to select this, and I say get record status. And okay, that tells me some stuff. This is hard to read. Make that bigger. So font is T. I'm gonna have to restart it, but size. What is it? CL default shares. Okay. Let's do consoles. And then size will be like 14. See if that works. Run again. Can you even see this? No, you can't see it. Okay, so if we connect, yeah, that's much more readable. That's not consoles. That is some not a fixed width font. Oh, I don't know what that little thing was. All right, so I don't know if you can see this, but the there you go. I don't know why they had @ signs in front of it. I just put an @ sign in front of it because the first couple ones on the list have ats. All right, so I would expect that to work, and let's do the same thing for the input memo. For the font, we will say name is consolas, and the size is 14. Super beautiful developer UI with the gigantic fonts. That's how it goes in the big city. Okay. All right. So, but I guess you know it makes sense for video production. All right. So we're gonna connect. Get this. We send this. Get that. Now, let's get the record status. Says output paused, output duration, output active, false. Okay. Okay. Now bring this back up. We're connected. Which one is us? This is the old one. We're going to kick this. I think that's the small talk one. Kick that. Oh. Don't kick me. Am I still connected? Okay. Let's start recording. I'm gonna move this out of the way, I guess. Oh, I did disconnect. All right, so connect. I'm not identified. Oh, not that. Oh, I don't have an option to bring that back. I just have to actually stop this program. Bad usability. All right, so I can only do that at the start. Maybe this connect button should set that text rather than let's actually do that. So connect button will set the memo text. Okay. Oh, because then this needs a semicolon. Semicolon is a separator rather than a terminator in Pascal, so it is optional at the end of your last statement before the word end. Okay, so now I connect. I'm going to send this. I'm going to hit the record status. Stream already closed. Break. Okay, something happened. Try again. Stream already closed. Okay. Let's just start over. Connect. Send this. Got that. Okay. Hit record status. Send. I wonder if it's because I sent the same message. Right. Okay. Stop record. Did not do anything. Right. So okay, that's fine. Oh, the request ID just comes back to you so that you can match. Yeah, this is a common thing in WebSockets. You send a bunch of requests, you want to match them to the response. So that's just for you. You don't even need this. Start record. All right, so now we get to. All right, so out of the way, start recording. Start record, send. Hello, and welcome to this awesome video about, oh, I'm looking at this camera. Hello, and welcome to this awesome video about recording videos. Thanks for watching. And now let's stop. Send that, and it should stop recording, and it stopped recording. Okay. So now the question is, we should get this. And now we want to play that video. Okay, so that is actually in a separate project at the moment. I did not incorporate both of those things. But I could. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to worry about that right now because I am running out of time. And let's see what my wife is in the car yet. No, she's still not in the car. Still not at the gym. Got one of those little, we have a little tracking thing to track each other and see where we are so I can pick her up from the train. And the government can spy on our every move, and the corporations can spy on our every move. Okay, so project, recent project. What am I looking for? Open recent project, and that is in the same directory, the mplayer demo. With any luck, I have the correct thing on my clipboard, correct path. Click on that. Click on this. Yep. Okay. I kind of want to say player file name is equal to player.filename, but what is str replace? Is that it? I think it's called str replace, but Lazar or free Pascal str replace, string replace. Str replace is my old function I made. String replace, old pattern, new pattern, and we're going to put in a we're going to take the forward slashes and replace them with backslash, which are not special characters in Pascal. And wrong number of parameters. Okay. And then RF replace all. RF replace all. Okay. And I don't think that's too much text to be cut. I think that's just fine. So my coordinates? Yeah, it's line 77. You know, I don't feel like you have to have 80 characters of text because of the for any particular reason other than like it's hard on your eyes to scan back and forth on really long lines of text. And why is that a problem? What? I understand. Oh, you have to put brackets around it. Make a set of those. Interesting. That surprises me for some reason. That was the old one. What happened? Did I not commit this? Okay, so maybe that doesn't commit until you... And I'm going to put a little box up there to let you edit that file. There's like a several millisecond delay. This is a... Okay, I did not get the echo that time. So whatever I did the first time, where it said thanks for stop recording, that echo was just... I probably screwed something up. Maybe it was mad because I sent it from small talk. Okay, so this time it worked fine. There is a lag. That is a setting in OBS. I've had this problem before where you save the file and there's a slight delay. Like the lip syncing goes out of sync. I wonder if I think I have it set up to do that because I'm streaming, and I probably need a slightly different profile when I'm recording directly to disk because the latency is different. I could be I'm just making stuff up here, but that seems plausible to me. Anyway, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put a little thing up here so I can tell it what to play, and then I don't have to keep running this, right? So let's put a. You can see a little bit of the design stuff, right? So this is This is actually the running program. Where's the form? The form to edit is right here. And let's put a. So you go up here and you select a. I could actually use a file picker, right? Like that would make sense. Except that I'm getting the file from a. Yeah, in this particular case, I'm getting a file from. Let's put a file picker there and see if we can. If we can just paste in list filter editor, list view. You do a file. Common control. File picker. Preview. No. No. This is it. Let's directory edit, file name edit. There. Yes, okay, I like this. This is a control where you can paste the file in. You can paste the file name in, but you can also click that little button to browse. Hey, come here. On this monitor, I almost need like a magnifying glass for Lazarus. Okay, that's about right. All right, so we'll paste this one in here, and then that'll be the default. And text be this. Okay. And then on change, so events on accept file name, then we will do something here. And that would be that player file name equals, and we'll do this. But instead of player file name, we will say, back here, we will say file name edit one, file name editor, file name. Names, file name, file name, file name. Actually, that's a perfectly good name. File name edit one. That's kind of fine. File name edit one. Edit one. File name. But I think it's actually text, right? File name or text. Okay, so run this. All right, so we can stop that. And then if we put in the old one, which I don't know what it is, but if I go to my, you can do this. A file, show recordings. Get a menu here. And so this is some ancient file, probably the stream I did a couple of days ago. Properties. Oh, right. I could have just gone. I can just click here. Right. I think because this is, yeah, I think I should have fixed it here. Because you would expect it to take me to that directory, right? To the eVideo directory. It does not, though. Interesting. All right, so eVideo. And then there's a bunch of junk in that file, or a bunch, just tremendous number of things in that directory. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, so there's one. I'm not sure why that's not. All right, so every time you press F12, I think, or F11, you get a screenshot from OBS, which I keep running all day. But I also need that button to like go into developer mode or whatever it is in Chrome, since I do web development. Okay, so this should be some. I doubt I have any person. Oh no. Okay, why didn't that happen? What happened? This seems wrong. E video. I should be able to go to eVideo and pick anything. Descript database, okay. I selected it, I accepted it, yes. There we go, okay. Hello. That's a common story. Okay, yeah, that's good, right? Okay, so now I should be able to pick the name and do things. So I can leave this running. Well, no, can I? Can I leave it running? Let's find out. Can I leave this running? No, because the debugger is running. But I can go. I can go to this directory. Okay, so, and I can just run the mPlayer demo, which was what I was just compiling, right? And now it has my thing, and so now I can keep this running. Oh, that's interesting that that's green. Okay. And then project, package, project, open recent, and then the WS demo, WebSocket demo. Right. So we're going to connect, run this. We're going to connect. We're going to send the welcome message. Yep. Keep this here. Going to tell it to start the recording process and hit send. Now recording. Hello and welcome to my video. Hooray, hooray. Glad you made it, blah, blah, blah. And then I will stop the recording. Obviously, these are going to be buttons, right? So we'll be able to control this from, or even key presses, and you'll be able to get instant feedback. So then send, blah, blah, blah. Right? And the instant feedback would be that this would extract this, put this here, and then hopefully, no. Right, so this is not doing the right thing. Is it because of this? Maybe I'm not using this control correctly. Maybe you have to actually select it from here. I'm going to paste it into the bottom and just do like that. Yeah, that's the one I just recorded. All right, so that's the workflow. So we did it. I recorded something, and I got a take, and then I got the video. So I need to put these together. I do need to put these together so I can get that workflow. This is just one component, so I think I'll just get rid of this and then add it to this. So close. Not close this. So let's do this. Let's rather than the rather than sending this like this, let's say procedure this is an annoyance I find in Pascal. You have to like name every procedure. Well, you don't really. You only have to do that if it's going to be part of the class. If you don't want it to be part of the class, we can just give it a name. We can say so we can say function and we'll call it whatever it is. It's going to return a string, and we'll call it function make OBS request. And then request. Let me pull up the OBS docs right here. So get record status. The way it works is there's certain kinds of opcodes. Request is an opcode. So yeah, request is fine. So request is opcode 6, and that's why that 6 is in there. And then request type. Request type is a string, and it returns a string. Yeah. You put curly braces in Pascal, and you look silly. Begin and results is the name of the implicit variable that returns your results. Otherwise, you can also call it make OBS request, but that's wacky. I prefer to use the word result. It's kind of nice because you can reassign it multiple times. It's not like you can also, there's also like a return concept, but I think there's not a return keyword. There's a function called like exit that actually like modifies the stack and does the. It's a procedural language. It's with object-oriented. An object-oriented language with procedural roots. Test type. Okay, so I like that. And then this will just be make OBS request for this. But I'm going to make some buttons up here at the top. So let's bring this form back up. Where did the form? I don't know. I think you can actually switch, yeah, F12. So you can bring this up. You don't have to go through that menu every time to find the form. So let's move all this down a little bit. Or up a little bit maybe. And let's do some buttons in here. So we click on standard button, and then we'll make a button for each one of these messages. So pause, record. All right, so we'll call this favorites. Call this start. All right, we'll call it record button. Rec button. And then the caption will be record. Rec. Maybe auto size it. Nice. Button 2 will be stop. And call that the stop button. We'll auto size that. And button 3 I was. Do I need the pause and the? Probably not. So then let's call this play. Like I don't know if I don't know if I'm ever going to use those things. So play, play button. Okay, and then so the record button will be to say com send string. No, it was write string message, and then the string message is going to be make OBS request, make OBS request for start. What's it called? Start record. And then the button for stop. F12 to bring this back up, I guess. Ah, that's probably taking screenshots of me too. Did it? Yeah, I'm taking screenshots like crazy when I hit F12 to do that. So I never auto size this one. All right, so record button we have. 12 screenshot of my face. Stop button, and we're gonna do the same thing. Kind of just puts them in whatever order it chooses. I guess alphabetical order. No, really. Know what the logic is there. Up here. Send button click, stop button click. Send button is the button at the bottom there. And then the play button. Play button click. Oh, you can double click it there. Oh. So when we do this, then we're gonna have another form. So file. No, how do you do this? Forms, new form, and then we're gonna add the mPlayer control to that form. And let's see. I think anchors tell it to go to the bottom and the top. In my mind, anchors should make it go to. I don't know what I'm doing there. All right. Well, so left is 0. Top is 0. Width is should be the same as the form, right? And we're going to call this the player form, or the video form, maybe. But favorites. And so mPlayer, whatever mPlayer is. mPlayer is some video player. mPlayer form. All right, or we'll just call it player form. Okay, and then when we it's not so much on a create, but and then the player control. I call it player form? Yeah, player form and player control. And then on click is when we do the yeah. If player control playing, then player control stop, else player control play. Okay. And then we're going to call this the I already have a UM player And the other thing, I'm going to call it U player form. U for unit. That's a common convention, at least in my code. The play button click now, we say we don't need this. I guess we load that unit now. So U player form. The U player form. U play. We don't. You actually don't need this. I don't like. Yeah. Once you U player form. Once you import a unit, you can, or use a unit, you have access to everything. Form show. But I like to use the U syntax there. Player form, player control. And we can even say with do begin and then maybe even keep it like this. Player control. Do player control file name is equal to the current file name. Oh, which we have to extract. Okay, so file name equals file name. Let's do this. Let's go back to the other form, the first form, form 1, and then let's put a little file there, just a text, just like a little text box, has that file name in it. I don't think you can. I guess maybe you can tell it where to record, but I don't care about that so much. I'm going to let the system figure out. Oh, I do want to tell it where to record because I'm going to give it a specific file name to use, right? We'll see. But for now, let's just put a box here, and we're going to put the file name that we want to record here, and then when we press the play button, then we'll do something. So name is file name edit, and then the text is going to be empty. Again, we really don't need an event for this. I don't need that. But what was I going to do? Is I'm going to use that file name to be the file name edit. File name edit dot text. Okay. Boom. Guess this has to be above, because you always have, it's a at least historically it was a 1-pass compiler, so you always have to have the thing above the usage. This was generated for me and I deleted it but didn't delete this. Okay. So right, you gotta connect. Okay, so run. Okay, abort. Run it again. Connect. Send this. Now record. The recording's in progress. We're recording. Hello, hello, blah, blah, blah. Stop. Oh, okay. Here's the output path. And then we stick this in here. Boom. And then we play. And it brings that up, but okay, so let's stop. The two issues there. One is that the stop button is doing start record instead of stop record. I believe is the name. Stop record, start record. Yeah. And then the second issue was that we needed we needed is to do that replace thing. So in a file. Not part of the project, so from that other project, I can get the C versus plug Z, and that was the UM player, right? Dot pass, and I need this. File name edit.text. Edit that. And then also and we also need to give it this, the path to the actual executable for this thing. I think there's a way to find it on your path, but player control. So player control and player path. All right, so there are 3 mistakes. All right, so that should work now. And then we have to, sorry, Mr. Pascal. Monsieur Pascal. Connect. Send the connection, send the thing, record. Hello, hello, welcome to my video. Stop. So in the audio version, you can hit it so quickly that the lag, like you have to insert a delay, right? To start recording. Unfortunately, you can't anticipate the press of the key. So you have to train yourself to, as a human, to just pause for a moment before you start, because it takes a moment for the recording mechanisms to launch. All right, so we're going to put that there. Eventually, the next step would be to parse this JSON and then play. Boom. Got to give it a volume. Go on the other form. Player form. Or you can also just do it here. Player control dot volume equals 100. So I have it on the clipboard, I believe. Paste, nice. Interesting. Try that again. I'm going to count to 10, right? In the video. I'm going to hit record and just immediately start counting. So am I connected? No, because nothing's in the output. So I got to connect, send. And as soon as I hit record, I'm going to start counting to 10. And that way we'll see like where it cuts off. When I get to 10, I'm going to hit stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So then we would parse this. Play. Interesting. So that part is easy to fix. So it actually picked up the 1 pretty quickly. So it didn't take long to start up. So that's good. I guess OBS is running all the time. First of all, I'm curious what happens if I hit play again. Oh, it's still playing. Interesting. You close the window, it's still playing. Interesting. Okay. So what was I saying? I was gonna. Oh, so what I will do. How do you do this? Pascal, Lazarus, sleep. You can't. It can't just be sleep because you have to. It's an event loop, right? Wait delay. Okay. Right, give me a second here. Project. Recent project. All right. So I'm almost certainly doing this when I record. Send key to JPrez. I have a timer. Okay, what's the timer for? Well, a timer is for checking the. Timer is for setting for polling the for changes. Polling JLang for called J code. Oh, I didn't do it here. I had to record audio after 400 seconds, 400 milliseconds. So that was built. That wasn't something I did, but I bet this. Wait to stop timer. Yeah. So okay. So what you can do if you want to introduce a delay and you don't want to block the main thread, then what you would do is you. I thought there was like a phrase you could give it, but all you have to do is go to the form. So F12, take a screenshot, and go to the form. And then we will add a timer. Timer data. We'll add this invisible timer up here. It just shows up on your form, but you don't actually see it when you run. And then, so interval, we'll set it to like, oh, we'll do, well, no. So what I want to do is when I hit the stop button, I want to delay for like half a second, 1 second. Let's do 1,000 for now. This is 750 milliseconds. And then we will, and then when the timer ends, then we will write this message to stop record. And then right now, when we click that stop button, we will timer 1. And we'll even just set the interval here. Equals 1,000, equals 750, and timer 1, start. Enabled. How do you start the timer? Timer. So Lazarus timer components. Timer. A wiki. Oh, you just set it to enable? Okay. Enable equals true. We will just disable it when we get here. I don't know if you need to do that. Timer 1. Enable equals false. Okay. See if that works now. So we'll do the same thing again, count to 10. We'll just count to 5 or whatever. Okay, so connect, send the hello, and now we can record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop. It didn't fire. Oh, I bet it's on timer, not on the, yeah, okay, so that's why. So on timer, then we do that, not on stopping the timer. This, I shouldn't have deleted it that way. Now I've created something that is, I have to delete this. I think there's a way, there's some way to make that automatically. All right, so here we go. Violation happened. I think the timer is enabled by default. It is. That's why it is sending a message to a socket that is not open. I don't know if you saw that there was a access button. We connect. Got someone messaging me, so that tells me it's probably my wife telling me she's coming home. Still at the gym, but I bet she's way home. Out of bed. Family swim ends at 8 o'clock, and it's 8:19 now. Right, so all right, we connected. we need to send the welcome request. That wasn't her. I'm going to wrap this up. Okay. Oh. Okay, the button works now. So again, record and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. So hopefully that was a 3/4 of a delay, 3/4 of a second delay. Get this. I actually do not know how to parse JSON in Lazarus. I don't know if there's I'm sure there's a JSON component somewhere. But we have to extract that, or I mean, you don't really need to extract it. You could just look for the output path. But extracting it would be nice. They're probably. I don't remember parsing JSON in recent memory in Lazarus, but the answer is there is somewhere out there. There's a JSON component. You sit there, you create the JSON component, you give it the string, and then you ask for the data back. It is a loosely, it is a statically typed language, and so you'll have to figure out how to get the data out, because there's some wrapper for JSON types probably, but that shall be provided. Anyway, let's play this. Okay, let's make the delay a little bit longer. So we'll just double that delay. Maybe even like 2 seconds. 2 seconds? That's unfortunate. I don't know if that's a bug in OBS. Connect. Send this. Needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. Okay, take this. And this could also be an effect of the delay that I have set up in OBS. This is definitely an OBS problem. OBS is causing this issue. But I have a delay set up because of the time it takes for syncing the voice, and that's why when we play this, I bet my lips are slightly out of sync. Watch. Yeah, the audio is slightly in front of the video there. Like I said, I heard the word 8 before. Like it started out right, and then the word 8 came before my mouth opened to say the word 8. So there's a slight syncing issue there. I don't know how to solve this issue. This is an OBS issue, so I can research. This is not a me issue, because all I'm doing is sending a message to tell it to stop. So I need to look into like how to do this. I'm going to wrap up here, but just for the sake of argument, just so to satisfy everyone's curiosity, let's look up how to parse JSON in Free Pascal. I'm not going to do it on camera, but Free Pascal parse JSON. And there's probably some library that wraps all the JSON types. Okay, so JSON object, right? Because you can't just have a freestanding dictionary in Free Pascal. But FCL, so this is the free component library or Free Pascal component library. JSON data, right? So you have a type that wraps the basic idea that would wrap Yeah, so it's just like I guess JSON object would be like a variant. Um, I guess Pascal has variants as well. So, but I'm talking about variant in the concept in the sense of a pi object or something. Right? Whenever you have a dynamic language or dynamic typing system where you can put anything inside of anything inside of a static typing system where like your array is of one type, you have to make a type that can contain the anything that can contain the nested things, and so that would be the tjson or possibly tjson data, whatever the difference. I wonder what the difference is between the JSON object and JSON data. Oh, I see. TJSON object is not a Pascal object. It is the JSON dictionary thing. That's called an object in JavaScript, and so probably called an object in JSON. So array, JSON, null, and then these would all be subclasses. So they're all descendants. So they're all subclasses of TJSON data. And then you just pass around a pointer to everything is typed as TJSON data, but you have different. Oh yeah, that's nice because like in C you have pi object, and you don't have a concept of a subclass in C, but you do have subclasses in Pascal object. So that would be the way to do it. So we just get fp.json, get JSON. Why do we need JSON parser? Oh, parsing is not implemented in the fp.json using the JSON scanner. That says JSON scanner, but it means JSON parser. If you can read that. Get JSON is what in fp.json. So that this is all built in. I'm just going to do this. I might get if I get cut off, I get cut off. Most of my streams have ended lately with me getting off. Okay, so when you do the Alt tab, you don't see all these windows. I guess now I do. That's weird. Okay, so let's close this, and then we're going to include fp.json and fp.json parser. Is it JSON? Oh, come on. fp.json, get JSON. Interesting. It said that doesn't. Oh, I see. The actual parse. Okay, so that's weird. So it says you need this. So JSON parser. All right, so we will include that. It's a dependency that you don't use directly. It's kind of weird. I don't know why that happened. Like, because it looks like get JSON comes from the other things. Anyway, so on the send back. So whenever we get the response, so whenever we get the response from the WebSocket, which is a message received, right? Receive message. Where'd it go? Oh, here. I don't know why. I don't know why Lazarus wants you to jump to this part. All right, I hear people at the door, so it is time to go. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. You'll have to fill in the blanks yourself or check out the repo, and I will